So the Pokemon Company sharing an individual who is not minor safe. If that doesn't capture all the problems with the Pokemon Company and Pokemon VGC and Pokemon community, I don't know what will. The Pokemon VGC community makes no sense to me because I thought VGC was bigger than ever and that WolfGlick has turned it into a thriving scene, so why would it need anything? But then inside of this post, you can just kind of see how nonsensical the VGC community is, that people only know how to get riled up about things but then never support it. And it also kind of shows all the other problems where if WolfGlick isn't on stream, he's not making it into Top Cut, well then the regionals is a complete throwaway because no one cares about VGC. WolfGlick has not created any Pokemon VGC fans, he's only created WolfGlick fans. So yeah, like cool, we get Wolf in the finals or top 4, lots of views, and outside of that, 12,000 views for the top 4 at the same event. And we also have different people. We have Joseph Ugart. This is one of the top players. Now, he is a cheater, but it is kind of funny how it shows like, oh, the community is also just deranged and doesn't care about actual performance and actual players. We're just kind of like going off of consistency. Joseph is better than Wolf. That doesn't matter. And we can even see like other events that if you're just looking at it from the numbers, regardless of the cheating, which we will talk about, like how do we have Riley Factura, championship point leader of 2024 until he got disqualified for cheating at the 2024 International Championships versus Joseph. We have like 2 of the top most consistent players in the top 4. There's your storyline, less than 10,000 views. So yeah, Wolf has actually done nothing for VGC. Now, as idiot fans in the freak show that is the Pokemon VGC community would disagree, but you just have to look at this. It's like, oh, but no one's caring about VGC, and VGC is actually just a dead competitive scene. I wonder why. Well, here's what we need. We need more heroes and villains. Come on, people. Have more personality, especially on stream. You're asking for randos who play competitive Pokemon to have personality. That's always been a big issue with gaming, and there is kind of like this weird thing where Smash got lucky that all of the top players also had great personality. Like even Mewtwo King. Everyone loves him. With Pokemon, you don't have any of that. You just have loser cheaters that have no skill in the game, which is why they have to cheat. And then everyone touts those cheaters as heroes, like with WolfGlick. I've talked about this back in 2016, where it's like, oh, the Pokemon Company made WolfGlick the poster child, and then he ended up being a cheater. If you don't permanently ban him, you will never have an esport. The scene will never grow, and you are pissing away the potential of competitive Pokemon from the largest franchise in the world with a game that is selling dozens of millions of copies. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, over 25 million. Pokemon Sword and Shield, over 26 million. What's the competitive support? 500 players. Oh, but it was like 1,200 peak last year, which means Pokemon VGC is bigger than ever. No, the scene is dead. And then it's also one of those problems where all you have to do is go online, play the game that has sold the tens of millions of copies, go online and then realize like, oh, the ladder's dead. It's all Japanese players. No one in the West is playing. So no one in the Pokemon community supports the games, which is also shown by the lack of support towards VGC. And then doubles is getting less attention than singles, even though it's 3v3 singles. 3v3 singles is more popular than VGC, which has always been like a weird point of the competitive format and how the Pokemon Company runs it. But yeah, it's like, no, we actually need to ban all the cheaters, make cheating wrong, which now takes community effort as well as Pokemon Company effort, but it's all corrupt and deranged, so we're never going to get that. And then, yeah, no wonder Pokemon hasn't grown in 8 years. And the crazy thing is, I already talked about this 6 years ago last time it happened from Cybertron. Christ. Okay, can you guys just give me like 1 minute, just 1 minute really quick? Okay, I just really needed to savor that because the VGC community right now is banding together to try to figure out why VGC is dying. And you know what the weird thing is? It's not like I've been talking about this for 4 freaking years or anything. No, VGC has been perfect the entire time. I mean, it was just an anomaly that happened today that suddenly people were just not interested in VGC anymore. It hasn't been snowballing because of all the hacking, all the terrible behavior, all the unsporting stuff, and just the piss poor management of the entirety of the competitive Pokemon scene. No, it was none of that. But yeah, back to the heroes and villains thing, because you can't have this in Pokemon, or at least when, like, again, your heroes are objectively evil. Wolf's entire career is deliberately cheating, and lying about it to steal prize money and gain fame. He then compulsively lies about anyone who has caught him cheating, and he uses that to defame the people that are telling the truth. I did a video recently showing how Wolf's reply to June the King's video about me just kind of like confirms how much of an evil liar he is. So yeah, your heroes are shitty people. They are cheaters. They are bad actors that are, again, cheating and then lying about it to steal prize money, and they have no skill in the game, proven by their need to cheat. In sports and any other competition, you lose all of your accolades when you are found to be a cheater. Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. No one regards Lance Armstrong as the greatest cyclist ever. Same thing for any Olympians that get caught using steroids or any kind of banned substances. You cheat, make up for skill issue. If you were good, then you would have no reason to cheat. Hacked Pokemon give you an objective competitive advantage. Having more time and resources than an opponent is having a competitive advantage over them. This is the same in sports. That's not only what happens on the field. If you have a better coach, dietitian, trainer, anything, just even better training equipment, you are going to have a performance edge. Hacking Pokemon is no different. And even for the idiots that disagree with the fact that ginning gives a competitive advantage, you still need to enforce the rules. You need to ban cheaters, regardless if you like them or not. So that's like the whole problem with Wolf, is that when your poster child is a cheater, gets caught cheating, and then keeps getting supported by the Pokemon Company, your scene has zero integrity, so it is impossible for the scene to grow, and then we end up with no VGC fans and Wolf fans. So I don't even know why the Pokemon Company puts up with it, that Wolf abused their system, stole prize money through cheating, used all of that fame, and then has just kept it for himself because there's no way for someone so evil to actually trickle down the attention into the scene that grew him. That he just uses the fake title of Pokemon World Champion. Well, that was 8 years ago, and he only got it through cheating. Like, cool. Now the algorithms have pushed him, and we have nothing to show for it inside of Pokemon, and Pokemon's a dead game. And this part is ridiculous. Villains in modern gaming communities, you're not allowed to have a Leffen anymore, especially in Pokemon. One of the softest, snowflakiest communities out there, but also the Pokemon Company International, which is one of the most woke, corrupt companies out there. Remember what happened to Makani? The tournament organizers bullied a minor into wanting to jump into traffic because he accidentally didn't say his pronouns correctly. No human's going to look at the scene and go, yeah, that's something of integrity that I definitely want to be a part of. That I get disqualified when I don't properly say my pronouns when it's demanded of me by the tournament staff and the Pokemon Company. But then there's also a ton of inconsistency around that, because if you go to the Pokemon rules, they say, like, no harassment or targeting anyone of any kind for any reason online. So that means, like, the entire VGC community is banned from competition for harassing me. Sure, I get it for exposing the truth about Wolf, but that would also include Wolf for lying and defaming me, and also all the other nonstop stuff. So, like, yeah, there's just no integrity. The corruption and nepotism in the Pokemon Company is insane, that if you just play nice and become friends with everyone and say trans rights every once in a while, you are allowed to cheat and get special treatment within all the rules or just for publicity and stuff, which is also kind of strange because there's not a single right that trans people don't have that other people have. So again, it's all just like virtue signaling and DEI nonsense. And then no well-adjusted human cares about your scene? Wow, who would have guessed? And then we go to more flashy plays, which isn't the problem. The problem is the stream just being unwatchable for multiple reasons. Yeah, the battles themselves are boring, mostly because timer stalling isn't enforced. So proper rules to make it an engaging spectator experience have never been enforced because Wolf is always timer stalled and cheating has just been openly allowed. So anyone watching that wants to be a part of Pokemon, oh, that person just broke the rules and made a girl cry. Yeah, man, I definitely want to play VGC now. Oh, what's that? All perfect, shiny, legendary Pokemon, IVs, hidden powers, and stuff? That dude's cheating. Why is he allowed to cheat? Oh, I guess if I don't gen, then I'm just not allowed to play Pokemon. And then the casters are boring because it's all cheaters, friends of cheaters, and then people that play identity politics. So you're not getting anything representative of good competitive Pokemon and understanding of that. There's no meritocracy inside of Pokemon esports and a lot of esports these days. But that's like it. When you're in a competitive environment, the only thing that should matter is knowledge and skill, not whatever you put in your profile on Twitter. And the format makes the spectator experience terrible as well, and it has nothing to do with Game Freak or the Pokemon Company of Japan, because Japan has their own online qualifiers and then a regional international championship. So it's all on the Pokemon Company International for the current iteration of the rules and championship point system, which I've complained about since it was introduced, because it's just the worst way of having a scene that people want to engage with, where you need to pay $70 to go to 6 regionals in different states to then kind of just pay to win your way into Worlds. So anything bad about being a competitor or a viewer is going to be because of the Pokemon Company International being infiltrated by bad actors who now just play Pokemon with the worst possible ways of hosting an esport. Again, we can't have any villains because the events only exist to be a safe space and not have any competitive integrity. And then with more flashy plays, the only people competing in VGC are no-skilled scumbag cheaters. So of course you're not going to have an interesting meta or any interesting kind of plays that come out from it. Also kind of supported by the championship point system, which also goes into more unique Pokemon. Well, no one's going to run anything outside the box when all they do is just cheat the meta thing and then tune the EV calculations around it for whatever's optimal to counter the counter that's countering the counter. And then Pokemon is super boring. And it also seems like that gets a lot worse with VGC than like watching singles counterplay and stuff. So then the format itself is also just kind of weird. And then, oh, gotta mention Wolf. Wolf seems to win with an underused Mon basically every time. But his performance is actually terrible. He can't top cut Worlds or make it into even day 2 most of the time. And if your example is, well, one of his 6 Pokemon are kind of underused, then that also shows like he isn't even doing anything interesting with the unique Pokemon or flashy plays. That also goes into the idiot Wolf fan brain rot. I don't think just because Wolf does it, anyone else can. So only Wolf has the skill to change 1 or 2 of his 6 Pokemon to make them underused. Bro, that's actually just kind of insane. Also, arguably the best player of all time. Well, confirmed cheater, so immediately disqualified from that. And again, when you look at his performance compared to anyone else, he's not good. Like, he takes a regional every once in a while, but there's tons of other players that have better performance and regional wins that don't get any attention. But they're all cheaters anyway, so yeah, it's just one of those things like, okay, so the Wolf brain rot also shows how we have absolutely no audience. Also, here's more proof showing that if you say the right things, become friends with the right people in the Pokemon Company, you just get special treatment. So you get to become a contributing writer for official Pokemon Company articles, despite being a cheater. We saw this with Ray Rizzo. Gets caught with a hacked Dream Ball Aegislash, starts working for the Pokemon Company. Wait, Ray Rizzo and Wolf Glick are friends. Oh man, who knows what could have happened from that? Wolfie's a cheater, Ray Rizzo's a cheater, Cybertron's a cheater, Cybertron and Ray Rizzo work for the Pokemon Company as friends of a Pokemon World Champion. Surely there's nothing wrong with that. Zero conflict of interest or nepotism possible. And we would have all of these things naturally if cheaters were just banned and canceled from the Pokemon community like they should be. So again, like, how? How can anyone think, like, okay, cheating is how we have a successful competitive environment, even though it's literally never existed anywhere else? And that they can't see, like, oh, this is what we're missing. But also you look at the engagement. It's like, okay, so this is actually a very low like ratio. Anything under 1% is going to be bad. And after like likes got hidden, in a weird way, like ratios actually went up. It's like you see like 3%. It's like, oh, you're onto something good. And like it's even common to go over 5% like now, even though it used to be like, oh, 1% is like average. So with this, it's like, oh, we don't have the engagement. Wolf fans don't care because this isn't Wolf making the tweet. So it kind of gets attention because there's just a lot of weirdos in the Pokemon community, but they don't support it at all. Everyone would rather, so just a fallacy like there, speaking for everyone, would rather watch the high-flying Steph Curry Warriors instead of the Tim Duncan Spurs. That's just terminally online brain rot or a problem with your community if methodical competitive play isn't respected. Both are champs, but one was clearly more fun to watch. Same applies to VGC. Oh, and villain was clearly the wrong word. But we need some more bravado and rivalries. That would be awesome. Well, here's the problem. Since everyone's a cheater, you can't really have any rivalries. Since everyone has to play by the rules of the clique or you get outed, again, you can't have any conflict inside of the VGC community. Also, if anything kind of like shows cracks, then big bad boogeyman Verlisify comes in and then is right. So it's all fake. Everything's fake. And then again, bad actors are the ones running the community. You don't have any other Poketubers kind of giving any attention to VGC. So there's no collaboration, because if you collab with someone, you might risk losing some of your audience to theirs. And then bravado. I mean, the banner profiles dude making a heart on stream. And everyone's a cheater anyway, so we have no morality, we have no chivalry, we have no personality to be found. It's only, like, this is just a funnel for evil and shitty people. And identity politics, which is the next thing. Oh, last thing I'm going to say on this. I obviously don't want or think VGC needs any transphobes, racists, etc. Didn't think that needed to be said, but here we are. How was any interpretation of any comment he received? Also, these words have lost all meaning because they are used completely incorrectly in 99.999% of cases. Like, how do we get from we need heroes and villains turning into, oh, but that means no racists and transphobes? Like, where's the interpretation there? That's just how bad the brain rot is. So yeah, again, it always ends on trans rights. Like, if you don't say that, you're not allowed in on Pokemon. Wait, why does no one care about our scene, guys? And the thing is, this is just pandering to terminally online people that aren't going to healthily support or engage with your community. And then people got, oh, so see, like, you try to have some kind of discussion, and then you lock out any dissent. Like, only I'm right, only I'm allowed to be right. Look at these opinions other people have. Oh, by the way, trans rights. WolfeyVGC, another cheater. So again, it's like, oh, you just find, like, yeah, every top VGC player is a cheater. So anyone that's going to engage with the community or engage with the discussion is a cheater. That should just be banned and purged from it entirely. They're going to pitch in. It's like, oh, no wonder we can't get any development of the scene. But one of the things that makes VGC special is that we're wholesome and family friendly. Well, then you're not going to have anyone care about scene. Every villain we've had is a abhorrent person or really cringe. And then also, as we've seen, is like the demonization of me. Just someone's like slightly edgy or is critical of anything just becomes like an unspeakable evil. There's a fine line, but I haven't seen it tread well, because the line doesn't exist. See, it even says it. The fine line is actually one of those mathematical, theoretical, infinite points in space. It's so small, it doesn't exist. So yeah, no wonder there's no personality, there's no rivalries, there's no actual storylines to follow, because everyone is just an NPC so that they can stay in the club and then not get outed by the community. Because, like, again, the watchdogs of the community, if you say anything slightly critical or out of line, nope, you're gone. And that's if the Pokemon company doesn't take you out first. So yeah, you're not allowed. And again, like, okay, but the competition is not where wholesome and family friendly goes. That's casual. Casual is where that stuff belongs, not competitive. So no wonder you have nothing in the end. Ashton Cox, more cheaters. I tried to create a storyline with LAIC during the interviews, but couldn't get to the finals versus another cheater. I feel like I was working in the right direction. But see, like, no one cares. The Pokemon company, like, since your name isn't WolfeyVGC, the Pokemon company isn't going to try to build anything for you. The Pokemon company only has one storyline, further proven by all of these other features. Like, wow, you make a feature on someone, 10k views. They just gave up and started only showing WolfeyVGC. Who's Nicholas Morales? I don't know, some cheater. 5k views. And then, where is that thing that they're doing with WolfeyVGC? Ah, the battle basics. So you take a washed world champion, and then you just, like, overly feature him, and that's the only thing that happens. And then no one shows up at events or engages with the community or even cares. And then there's a lot of the stories that keep getting pushed by the Pokemon company about TCG, VGC, and all that stuff. But it's completely inorganic. It's, you know, it's the fake front, you know, where you, oh, I didn't have any friends, and then I went down to my local card store to play for the Pokemon League TM, and now I have tons of friends, and I feel very accepted in this very safe space community that was so welcoming and caring and doesn't put up with anything. And it's all about image and not connecting to actual people that want to give competitive Pokemon a chance. Shiny Rayquaza, 20,000. Another one of these rare candy turn. Yeah, my favorite League moment is finding rare candy on turn 2. When I beat an adult, it makes me feel accomplished. No one finds this accomplishing or inspiring because a cocky kid beats an adult by playing rare candy on turn 2. Yeah, the engagement just doesn't make any sense for like the competitive branch of the largest franchise in the world. 10 comments about like game data. But again, all these people are cheaters. They don't engage with the game. And all of the idiots that follow people like WolfeyVGC don't play the game because they just follow evil cheaters. We have our boring cast of boring people that don't make anything about play Pokemon more engaging or interactive. That's promotional material. 432 comments. Wonderful. Oh yeah, that reminds me of this. I suffer with anxiety, so it's difficult for me to meet people and go outside to events. The fun and joy of playing really helped me push to attend events and find like-minded people. Problem, this individual is a rabid porn addict that didn't have any content warnings at the time the Pokemon company shared their story, and then they replied. So this individual getting a lot of attention from a children's franchise. And yeah, you might want to add a no 18, so minors don't click on your profile. So the Pokemon Company sharing an individual who is not minor safe. If that doesn't capture all the problems with the Pokemon Company and Pokemon VGC and Pokemon community, I don't know what will. Yeah, I don't know. It's also weird that people get offended by, like, calling anyone a villain, where most of these people are just toxic villains that are happy to witch hunt and brigade people at the slightest thing they disagree with. So anyone could be a representative villain or bad boy in Pokemon VGC, but that's just not allowed, so they're the ones that need to perpetuate the hate and toxicity. Biggest problem I see along with that you point out is TPCI. Judges on majors don't allow you to do such things. Yeah. Warning for screaming. Hidden table due to whatever reason. So unintended. Like, see, and that's the thing. I don't know how bad the safe space has gotten over at Pokemon events, where, like, you're not allowed to celebrate because it actually makes your opponent feel bad in a competitive setting with thousands of dollars in prize money on the line. Unless you're WolfeyVGC. Unless, like, you're one of the special golden boys who's allowed to have a personality, you're not allowed to do any of these things. You're not allowed to pop off and create a character for yourself that the Pokemon Company... But then also the Pokemon Company will see you as problematic and they won't feature you. And then again, just how delicate these weirdos in the Pokemon community are. Villains actually suck. Except they are absolutely needed to create an interesting, engaging, competitive scene. We have plenty of heroes. See, when everyone's a hero, then everyone's boring. And as I've shown, all of your heroes are just shitty people anyways. So Wolf is popular enough to make them all live in his shadow. Wow. Flashy plays are risky and can cause throws. So yeah, like, see, it's just terrible. And then also just the problems with the stream. We need more total matches per stream. One every hour or so surrounded by 40-minute caster chat is not going to build special moments. Except you can get away with that, like the in-between rounds in Counter-Strike, because you actually have interesting people on the desk for analysis. But again, when it's all just like cheaters corrupting the meta, and then you have uninteresting people that are hosting the show, you have nothing to build for competitive. And also the Pokemon Company with, like, their features, it's just done in the worst way. It's like, oh, we have boring nonsense representation and then just the matches. So no feature, no highlight, nothing representative from the Pokemon Company about what would make VGC special if there was anything to extract from it. And then all the other, like, influencers and Poketubers, they don't support VGC or care about it, and they're cheaters and bad actors anyways. So, like, cool, we have no foundation. We have absolutely no tools to make VGC successful inside the Pokemon community. That's because you cast out Verlisify. Great. Also, you don't need villains, but some hype and ego would be amazing. No, ego is bad. Ego would be too offensive for everything. This individual just wants to see competitors get bullied and ruthlessly harassed, because if you have, like, anything cocky about you, like, okay, so you win an event and then you start talking shit in Pokemon, the second you make a misplay or have, like, one bad tournament, it's over for you. You're going to get buried and bullied out of the community. So yeah, like, you can't have a villain. You can't have any edge. You can't have any shit talk. What a community, guys. What a community. Verlisify always right, though. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.